Welcome to the Assist Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Schwartz, and joining me today is a guy I've known for a while. He just started his freshman year of college at Bowling Green State University, looking forward to becoming a teacher. I forgot what age, but we'll get to that. Studying for that right now. It is the brother of one of my best friends and a guy that I consider my own friend through the years, Joe Grau. Joe, how you doing today?
Great. How are you?
Not bad. Just trying to get through the week. Lionel Messi is still injured, which makes me sad. It's a busy week for me with tests and stuff, but most important is Barcelona's Champions League game. It kicks off in about a half hour, so we're releasing this on Thursday. So I'm going to go ahead and say Barcelona won 2-0. Ansu Fati had a great assist as a 16-year-old starting today, so there we go. Congratulations to Barcelona.
All right.
So, Joe, you are studying to become a teacher.
Yes.
What age teacher?
As of right now, I'm studying to be a high school math teacher. That license allows me to teach 7th grade through 12th grade.
Okay.
But I may or may not be changing that to middle school teacher because calculus is hard.
So you have to learn calculus or teach calculus?
I have to learn calculus as of now, and I could potentially teach calculus in the future, but I might switch it.
Calc's a tough subject. Are you in it right now?
Yes. I'm in it right now.
It's not going well.
Well, I mean, I have a pretty decent grade. It's just like I work really hard for that grade.
No, I definitely get that. There's definitely those types of subjects where you're like, this is a pain in the ass, but you can still do okay if you just put in raw hours working. So I think it's kind of funny. I know we've talked about it before. How did you come across the teaching profession to start?
Well, it all started through my soccer career, which is very unexpected. So through the high school soccer program at Norwich, there's a lot of volunteer work. And when I would always volunteer, I learned that I really liked working with the youth. And I really saw a direct impact that I'd make in these kids. And I thought that is something that I really like to do. And then last year, my senior year of high school, I observed classrooms and I really enjoyed that. So I'm running with it right now.
So I thought that's a great story. I thought like 3 years ago you were doing it because they get 3 months off of the year with a full year pay. Is that correct? And then you actually have grown to like it now?
That was partially a reason that I was considering it. But like 3 years ago, I always told myself, I'm not going to be a teacher because they don't make any money. But that has changed because I realized that money is not something that I'm chasing in life. That's not how I define success. I'd probably define success as like how many people I can impact and like make a difference in their lives.
I think those are very wise words, and that's part of the reason why, for me, I went into becoming a doctor and still on that path to becoming a doctor is because I feel like that's where I can best affect people most while using my skills best. So I definitely get that. That's very good. I'm proud of you for that.
Yeah.
So I know you like your jokes. And you certainly like to make people mad, but it's good that you found a rewarding career that you're working towards right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's your 3-week, 1-month review of college? Is it all it's cracked up to be?
It's a lot more work than I expected. Like, I thought it was going to be like a lot of just like studying and work, but like I didn't think it was going to be as much as it is. And it's really different because I have to put in so much work into like all of my classes. And like in high school, I barely studied like ever, but I'm doing at least 2 hours of homework a night.
Yeah, because I feel like part of it too is that, in high school you're doing 8 hour days, 7 hour days, whatever, of them just being there and you're absorbing that every day through class. And you get to college and you're like, oh, sweet. You look at your schedule, you're like, I'm only in class like 12 hours a week, this is great. I can go hang out and do all this stuff. I'm taking this one class 2 days a week, and it's like, oh no, you're still going to be doing the same amount of work in terms of time. You just have to do it on your own now. And the people that don't do that or realize that too late kind of have issues with that.
Yeah, for sure. I know a couple people who are just like not doing anything, and they're really struggling right now.
Is Brad listening to the podcast right now? What is Brad doing back there?
Brad, we can hear you listening to the podcast.
I mean, I like it. It's like a plug within a plug.
Yeah.
Brad Garrity is your roommate from high school?
Yes, Brad Garrity is my roommate from high school.
How is that? Is that going well?
Don't say my last name.
It's pretty good for now. It's okay.
I assume that's way better than just getting on campus and finding a random roommate. You got to figure everything out.
All right. So basically, I wanted to room with Brad because I didn't want to get stuck with an absolute weirdo.
Oh, thanks, man.
I wanted to go someone that I was knowing because I wasn't really worried about like meeting people coming in.
Yeah.
Because like I know a lot of people here, and I can use those relationships to like build a network of more people, and that's what I've done so far.
I was going to say, especially at Bowling Green, obviously your brother goes there. I know you don't want to piggyback off like your brother's people, but that's how we, really met each other.
Yeah.
And like a lot of other things like that. Like there, I mean, from our city, Bowling Green's a pretty popular place to go, but as long as you make it your own thing, like you're kind of saying, like that makes it worth it being able to do that. So.
Yeah, for sure. Also, it's kind of weird because I'm joining Michael's fraternity too.
Are you really?
Yeah, but like not because of Michael whatsoever. Like I've seen Michael at like one of their events.
Michael's in a business fraternity, isn't he?
No, he's in a social fraternity.
Oh, he is in a social one? Okay.
Yeah, it's Kappa Sigma.
Kappa
at Bowling Green, they have a really good reputation, but I don't know if it's like that at other schools. I've heard it's not like that at other schools.
Yeah, I think it depends. That's the thing about fraternities. I don't know if we have a Kappa Sig. Let's see. Michael's definitely talked about it to me before.
Yeah.
But I just don't remember. Yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, is fraternity life pretty popular there?
Yeah, it's pretty popular here because there's, like, nothing around Bowling Green. It's just cornfields. So, like, there's nothing to do on weekends. So, like, it's a good thing to join because it gives you something to do.
Yeah, because I think here it's only, like, 10% or so join fraternity, sorority life. It's not a lot of people because there is a lot of things to do down here, so...
Yeah.
Do you guys tailgate football games?
Yeah. I've never been personally, but I know that there's a lot of tailgates. So like last weekend was our homecoming, and there was a bunch of tailgating going on.
Yeah, I know tailgating here is like one of the biggest things every week. Down here we have a memory mall. It's called Memory Mall basically, but it's just this long stretch where you can put wherever you want on it, and in between a bunch of costume buildings, and they put just thousands of people tailgating before games.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And we just do it like in the parking lot outside of the stadium.
Oh, so that's like an NFL style tailgate. That's what I feel like NFL people. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's its own thing here, and then we go and we crush everybody in our schedule.
Yeah, can't say the same. We lost our homecoming game. We got blown out in our homecoming game.
Yeah. Wait, you already had homecoming?
Yeah, it was last weekend.
Seriously? I wonder when our homecoming's not for another month, maybe? Because we, I don't know if you've seen this, but for homecoming, UCF students on the Friday before homecoming, we all run into a pond called Spirit Splash, and then you have to try to catch rubber duckies. That's
crazy. That sounds really fun, though.
I've been able to do it, though, because I have tests. I've had tests before, so Katie, obviously who's here now, my girlfriend, she's like, we're doing it this year. I don't care what you have or anything. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll keep the listeners updated on how that goes. So, other than BG's good at hockey, right? So you have that. That hasn't started yet.
Yes, very good at hockey. Last year we made the NCAA tournament for that.
That's pretty awesome. But that hasn't started yet, right?
No, I think it starts in October.
Yeah, so you're just waiting for football season to be over.
Pretty much.
So, speaking of sports, I was going to ask you, you are a diehard Manchester City fan.
Correct.
Despite Manchester City looking very good in the Premier League and having some of the best performances, they drew to Tottenham, so dropped points there, and then they just had a loss to Norwich last week. I'm not saying panic or anything, but you are already 5 points behind Liverpool in the league standings. What is your concern level from a 1 to 10 on Manchester City's title hopes?
I'd probably do like a 4.
A 4?
Because, I'm not really concerned that much about like the results. I'm more concerned about Laporte being injured, because that means Otamendi has to play in the back, and he is a disaster. He's the reason why we lost to Norwich.
He had like a good season 2-3 years ago or so, and everyone's like, this dude's a stud, and I mean he's fallen off, right? Because your first choice center back pairing would be Laporte and John Stones, correct?
Correct.
So would you rather play Otamendi there or Fernandinho?
Fernandinho for sure. Otamendi is a terrible center back. Just needs to play in the League Cup.
The League Cup.
I have no use for him. Yeah, he's very unaware of what's happening.
And Laporte's out for the whole season, right?
Pretty much.
I mean, what do you do again? Let me look it up. I missed it. I didn't watch too much Premier League this weekend because I was focused on UCF playing Stanford, but let me see.
He did something to his knee. I don't remember exactly what happened to it.
I cannot. Yeah, Leroy Sané is already out. Yeah, it doesn't even say his injury. No, it just says he's out for a while.
Yeah.
Oh well. So yeah, that's thing. So I mean, I feel like, and I kind of felt like this before the year. I think I obviously thought Man City would still win the league. I think they're stronger than Liverpool and have more depth. And if they're able to play with Otamendi and Fernandinho, that'll still show that. But for me, I also think that if there were ever a year where Manchester City does not win the league, but wins the Champions League a la Liverpool last year, I feel like this is the year. I don't know why. Part of me just thinks because there's no real dominant team per se. I mean, there's Manchester City, there's Liverpool, there's Barcelona just because Messi's still around and they're still getting production out of players. And they have some more new midfielders. I mean, Juventus is always going to be around, Atletico, PSG, but I wouldn't say that there's any like really big clear favorite, which is interesting for the Champions League, but also it's kind of what we saw last year. And then Man City obviously suffered a shock defeat against Tottenham after the whole VAR controversy and all that.
Yes.
But
very shocking.
Yeah, I feel like if there's ever a season for Pep to push for Champions League and perhaps, come up short in the league a couple points, it might be this year. And I'm not going to predict that, but it just feels that way a little bit to me.
Yeah, I really think that their goal should be to win the Champions League because they won every trophy that they're able to with Pep except for that one. And that would really just cement Pep's legacy even more as a City manager.
Yeah, that's what you want as a fan, isn't it? Is the Champions League. That's what I want, too, for Barcelona right now. I wore my Suarez jersey around today, but yeah, that's. I mean, I'm in the same boat because Barcelona's won La Liga. I think last year they made it 7 out of 10, and Real Madrid have had their 4 Champions Leagues in the past 5-6 years now, and it's so, especially the way Barcelona's lost the past couple of years, it makes it so infuriating. It's difficult, and of course, like I said, Champions League is kicking off in a couple minutes here, but. Yeah, it's crazy because there is no top tier real. I mean, there's a top tier of teams, but there's no top of the line team that is a giant favorite this year.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think for the Premier League though, it's definitely just a 2-horse race. Manchester United aren't close. Chelsea aren't close. Tottenham aren't close. So that's just interesting. Also, Norwich haven't been playing badly either. So to me, I feel like a 5-point gap. Obviously, there was a 5-point gap last January, correct?
Correct.
So I mean, I think obviously it's doable because you guys came out and won the league, and obviously next man up with bodies and bodies. But yeah, I agree with you about Otamendi. If you guys can make it to January, then I don't know who would be available. I know Van Dijk's being looked at by Barcelona and Real Madrid right now.
Do you hope that he goes to Barcelona?
I mean, so I'm going to pull Neymar into this, and you'll see where I'm going with this. Because Barcelona were rumored, obviously we signed Griezmann. Super excited about him. I loved him. Saw him in person. I mean, he's fantastic. And he's Katie's favorite player because Katie finds him hot, which is great. But for me, when they were looking for Neymar, unless we got rid of Dembele, it didn't make much sense, right? Now granted, Dembele is injury prone. Of course, he's injured right now. So I wouldn't mind, doing a swap deal for that as a fan. But the difference is with Neymar, and you can play those four: Neymar, Suarez, Messi, and Griezmann. You could find a way to play them all. I mean, they all have, like, Messi has some midfield characteristics at this point in his career. He sometimes plays as a 10, Suarez as a 9, and Griezmann can, fold across. But when you're talking about center backs, so I understand that PK is a little older. He's 30-something, 32, 31 maybe. He is still very productive. He is still one of, if not the best center back in the world.
Yeah.
I have not watched enough soccer this year so far to confirm that. I'm on all the other teams, such as Sergio Ramos and some other, Virgil van Dijk, obviously. Some other names from that. So, and we have Clement Longley, and he's been very good. I mean, he was a cheaper purchase for Barcelona a couple off seasons ago to provide competition to Samuel Umtiti, and then Umtiti gets hurt, and Longley played fantastic last year. So Umtiti's on our bench right now. And I'm pretty sure he's starting now. So the thing is, unless Van Dijk deal comes across that, where it's Van Dijk PK, and then Longley moves in the other direction, or Umtiti moves in the other direction, or there's an adjacent sale along with him, it doesn't make much sense. It'd be almost how the Neymar thing was, where it's like, oh, Real Madrid are interested in him, let's make a real bid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
It's just, and the other thing is, it's crazy with these sport teams because, at least for soccer teams, of course, NBA teams and stuff are a little bit different, but that Barcelona made $1 billion in revenue last year, right?
Yes.
I think they were the first club to cross $1 billion. Do you know what their spending was?
Less than $1 billion.
Yes, but it was like $980 million. So they made a profit of $20 million. So it's like there's not, and that's because of a large portion that's still stemming from the Neymar sale and sale of other players because of that. So the guy I really like is Frankie de Jong as well. I think Griezmann and de Jong were great additions, and that's what we need. He's starting today. So
yeah, he's really going to help out that midfield that was a problem last season.
Yeah, so Messi's still been injured, but I think de Jong will help, and I think, like I said earlier, I already declared on the podcast earlier that they've won, so they have won. 13 minutes before kickoff, so it'll be fantastic. But yeah, I think it'll be weird. I can't even give a prediction for the Champions League. So, do you have a winner in your mind?
I mean, I hope City wins, but I could see them not winning because Pep Guardiola is not necessarily known for winning the Champions League because, like, he won with Barca, but
twice.
Like, he failed with Bayern Munich, and he's yet to do it with City. But I could honestly see Barcelona winning it because they have an amazing attack and they have a strength in midfield. But I don't know. I could just see them choking too, like they did last year.
You're already doing this to me. That's the thing. As soon as Liverpool scored that second goal last year, I knew they were going to lose. I knew they give up 4. It's just how it's how it's been recently for the Blaugrana. So I mean, we'll see. It should be an interesting season for sure. And I mean, not a lot you can take away too from the early start. I mean, like I said, Messi's been out, and there's been some topsy-turvy play in the Premier League too. So it'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out. But I hope Barcelona win. I need a new scarf with the next. I have a scarf with the 5 Champions League wins, so we need another for 6 for Messi's 5th. So we will see. But something I wanted to talk about with you as the 2020 election cycle is gearing up.
Oh yeah.
Not only is there was how many Democratic debates have gone now? I don't pay attention that much. There's been how many Democrat debates already?
There's been a few.
3?
I
4?
don't know an exact, something like that.
Okay, 3 or 4. I mean, you and I don't think either of us really pay attention super well, too much to actually give real analysis, which if you're expecting real political analysis on this podcast, you obviously have not listened to 35 previous episodes. The interesting thing for me is that Donald Trump, of course, who you could say you are a fan of. And
I'm a fan of, for sure.
Actually, let's expand on this. Like I said, you're not super in-depth on the politics.
Correct.
So let's go through your timeline of being a fan of Donald Trump, please, so people can at least understand. Because people are like, "Oh, he's a Trump supporter," but I don't put you in that Trump supporter category of like you're not a good person kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I basically started liking him my freshman year of high school, which is like 2015, and I honestly didn't really know much about it. I just heard everybody being like, "Oh my God, he's such a ridiculous person. There's no way he wins." And then I started kind of looking into like what he was trying to do. And I really fell in love with his love for America and just what he does. So, and then ever since then, I've really liked him just because he's like America first over everything. And so then the 2016 election comes around, and I honestly didn't think he was going to win because like there was so much controversy about him, which I don't know. It's not good at all, obviously, but I just thought he was the best option. Biasly
compared to Hillary.
Yes. So he ended up winning because of the Electoral College, and I was super happy about that. And then the whole left just completely freaked out, and now I kind of feel like they're going to be freaking out if he gets reelected. They're going to be freaking out until the next election. Then if he gets reelected, they're going to freak out even more. And it's just going to be a very entertaining election in 2020.
Yeah, I think, I can kind of get it. Like, it's almost to stem from your kind of like, this makes people angry, so let's do that. Which I mean, as a, and for people that obviously didn't get that, like as a freshman in high school, like that's like you're a kid. Like that's kind of, like that's, things that happen. So I think it's important too, is that like what you're kind of saying, is that it's not super, you're not super like following anything, but like, he really has a big thing for him is America and American first. And sometimes I don't know if that, gets him into trouble with some other, foreign policy and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't pay enough attention to make comments about this. I know you find it funny, but in terms of being a president, I mean, his Twitter account is a little crazy.
Oh, yeah. I think it's hilarious. I mean, I think it's unprofessional.
Yes.
Obviously, but it's hilarious to me. I just love it so much.
I mean, I grew up Republican, and I don't know whether Republican is the right word anymore, but I still certainly lean right on a lot of fiscal issues and probably socially more to the left on multiple things. So for me, when Trump was running, I didn't want Trump to win, and I couldn't vote, but I would have never voted for Hillary. So this next election, I think your point about the Democrats complaining and all this stuff, and I've said this before, is that like the Democrats were complaining so much and for so long that they, in terms of Trump being the incumbent, right? Usually there's this giant incumbent advantage that's really difficult for people to overcome, challengers to overcome. But in terms of Trump being president, like he's probably the most exposed incumbent in a long, long time. Like even Nixon won in a landslide when he was about to get crushed with Watergate. So
Yeah.
In terms of him being most susceptible to being attacked like that, it is really surprising to me that the Democrats did not raise up a successor, because a lot of people shit on Democrats, Republicans, blah blah blah. At the end of the day, they're both institutions that are still very good at being able to promote their own that deserve to be the best from within, and that's how people rise up, and they allow structures to do that. So it's shocking to me that there was not a 45-year-old or 50-year-old, up-and-comer they identified, after Hillary lost, that they're like, okay, in 4 years, this is ours, because Trump is probably still going to be beatable if he's as bad as we think he was. And to be honest, I think for Trump's base, he's probably done everything they wanted and supported them. But I think in terms of middle America, a lot of America, they would be open to a change. Now, whether the Democrats put forth someone that they would be open to changing, I mean, for instance, Joe Biden, I don't think Joe Biden will win. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there should have been like a 50-year-old successor that just came in and kicked Trump's ass next year. But it's not going to happen because it seems like they've failed to develop that kind of candidate.
Yes, I totally agree. I also don't think that he has any chance of losing if the economy stays the same as how it is, like really good. Because the economy is one thing that you just can't argue with. The economy is better. But if he loses the economy, I feel like he does not win at all. Because like he's already like controversial, but the economy is the thing that's like keeping everybody calm for now. But if he loses the economy, he's absolutely screwed.
Yeah. So, and I mean, even for, even like Trump's own party, like they're looking, I mean, Trump's getting primaried right now, like a primary challenge by Republicans. I don't know if you've heard about this. Have you heard about these names? That there's 3 guys now that are that have declared primary challenges for 2020.
No.
So we have Mark Sanford, who is representative from South Carolina, also governor of South Carolina formerly. He declared the 8th, so that's what? Yeah, like last week. Joe Walsh declared a couple of weeks ago from Illinois, representative from Illinois. He's a talk radio host too, according to Wikipedia. And then Bill Weld, who's actually older than Trump, former governor of Massachusetts. He's a Libertarian nominee for VP. And then individuals who have expressed interest in the past 6 months. John Kasich, governor of Ohio, again. So, which is interesting. So, I mean, I don't know in terms if Trump will get beat by any of those people, but it does say something that he is being primaried when a lot of times these, it just doesn't happen at all. So for incumbents like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And yeah, once again, I mean, looking at the Democrat candidates, like, is Biden really going to beat Trump? Is Kamala Harris really going to beat Trump? Elizabeth Warren? Like, I haven't watched enough to know that, but I mean, it doesn't seem, I wouldn't say it's a good odds right now.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So, Yeah, who knows? I really don't know what's going to happen, so. Oh, well. But what else is on your mind here? What else is from your first days in college you want to share with the people?
As long as you work as hard as you can towards your goals, you will meet your goals. And if you are having trouble meeting your goals, you need to change your behavior to meet your goals or change your goals.
That's good advice. I like that. You can put that in your classroom for whatever age you end up teaching?
Not true.
Yeah, most likely. I got that advice from a very wise man, Adam Dyke.
Love that, man.
Yes.
Brad
love
obviously
that man.
seems to disagree.
No, he thought I was going to mention someone else.
Oh.
That's why. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Well, Joe, this has been fantastic. We'll have to do this again sometime in the future. Good luck in school. Good luck in calculus. And I'm going to affect a lot of people out there, a lot of kids out there. I believe in you. So we'll keep in touch. Keep kicking ass, all right?
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Of course. Thank you for listening to the Assist Podcast. If you like the show, go drop a 5-star rating. That really helps us keep the show going. If you want to stay updated with all of the podcast episodes, hit the subscribe button and also go follow our Twitter, which is @assist_podcast, and our Instagram, which is now the Assist Podcast. And you can write any emails, any suggestions you have to theassistpod@yahoo.com, and we'll see you next week.